Hello all, I'm Denise and welcome to our Rockin Pilates Fundamentals video. So, if you've never done Pilates before, this is the place that you want to be so that I can teach you what I'm considering the fundamentals for all Pilates exercises. If you have done Pilates before and you just need a little refresher, then this is going to work for you as well. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I want you to do is think about the weight on your feet. Okay, so Pilates is a lot about posture. It's about engaging our core abdominals. And something that we really want to do is think about how we are standing. Okay, so there's weight under our big toe joint, our little toe joint, and our heel. So think of a triangle, and you want to center your weight over that triangle. Okay, so you can test yourself to make sure you're centered, and you can just lean forward towards the front, towards your toes, and lean back. Forward, there we go, and back, good. And so now you want to think of your weight being nice and centered, okay? Next thing that we want to focus on is how to breathe in Pilates. So most of our exercises are using this core abdominal area, okay? So you really want to focus your breath into the rib cage, getting that breath deep into the ribs. So how do we do that? We inhale through our nose and exhale out through the mouth. That's it. I always place my hands around my rib cage when I'm warming up because it reminds me that I need to feel movement there in order to make sure I'm breathing into the right place. Because I don't want to breathe in my shoulders. I don't want the shallow breath up here. I really want it nice and deep. So we'll go again. Inhale, expand, expand, exhale, squish all that air out. Okay, inhale again, expanding, and exhaling out. Good. Now, just relaxing your arms at your side. Another area that we hold a lot of tension is our shoulders and our neck, okay? And in our Pilates exercises, it's important to try to release that tension. Because if you got tension up here, you're not going to be able to focus on connecting to your abdominals, okay? So, to get rid of some shoulder tension, we're going to just do circles. So first, your shoulders are going to come to the front. They're going to circle up to your ears, go back, and then down. So you're inhaling half your circle, exhale half your circle. Good, now we reverse. So it's back with the shoulders, up to your ears, front and down. Inhale and exhale. One more. Good. Resting your shoulders down. Now, in exercises, I will tell you, keep your shoulders down. I don't want you to push them down and exaggerate, because that's not good either. I just want them to be relaxed. So a little trick that I use, so you can feel that they're just dropped, just relaxed. You're going to inhale up to the ears, really squish the shoulders. Exhale, let them fall. Inhale up, exhale, they fall. One more time. And release. Good. Okay, so we've covered the weight on the floor, right, under your feet. You're thinking about your breathing and you're relaxing in the shoulders. So no matter what exercise we're doing, never hold your breath. If I'm telling you inhale and you're doing the exhale, right now, don't worry about it. You really just want to think that the movements are continuous and you're never holding your breath, okay? So we are going to do a roll down now, just to stretch out the spine, try to create a little more space between those vertebrae. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I want you to do. So keep your weight centered over that triangle under your feet. So you're not going to roll forwards or shift your weight back. You're going to stay centered, okay? And from here, what you want to do is your head is nice and tall. Think of your inhale as lengthening your spine. On your exhale, you're going to drop your chin down to your chest. And then you're inhaling. You start reaching for the floor. Exhale, you keep reaching. Inhale, you're going as far as you can go. Exhaling here. And then you come up to standing. Inhale. Exhale inhaling, think of stacking your vertebrae one on top of the other. It's a nice slow process. Your shoulders drop down and your head is the last thing to come up. Okay, let's do that again together. Inhaling. Exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. Inhale. Gravity's helping you here. So gravity is, my arms are heavy. The top of my head is reaching for the floor. Go as far as you can with your legs straight. Then you start to round back up to that standing position. Keep your chin down, letting those shoulder blades drop down, and then your chin comes up. Last time, inhale. Exhale, tucking your chin down. That's it. Reaching towards the floor. This time we're going to stay hanging down towards the floor. Okay, your arms are straight, your legs are straight. Double check that weight. So make sure your weight is centered over the feet, over that triangle. And from here, you're going to inhale to bend both your knees. Now you stay hanging over the legs. Exhale to straighten those legs up. So inhale, we bend. Exhale, we stretch. And again, bending and stretching. Should feel the hamstring stretch. And now we're going to bend and come to sit down on the floor. All right, so I'm hoping you have a mat. If not, your carpet will be fine. But you just want to make sure that you have something with a little bit of padding so that it's not too hard on your spine. All right, now from this position, what we're going to do is we're going to warm up our low abdominals a little bit, okay? So I want you to think of pulling your low abdominals in towards your spine, okay? Now when you do that, you notice my hips were tucking a little bit under, okay? So I want you to think of a roundness in your low back in order to feel those abdominals working. Don't slouch in your upper back. This isn't about upper back. This one's about low back, okay? Stretch out those vertebrae in the low back and really engage those abdominals. Now, my knees are bent. Your hands are not going to do anything, so place them wherever is comfortable. And what you're going to do here is inhale. You're going to squeeze those low abs in. Tuck your hips under. Exhale. You're going to come back to your imaginary pockets of your pants. Then inhale and exhale to come back to sitting, okay? We'll go again. Inhale, exhale, squeeze those abdominals in. Inhale and exhale. Remember, it's not about the slouch or the roundness in the upper back. So I'm relaxed here, but not exaggerating. What I'm really doing is rounding. You should feel this. There should be something happening in those low abdominals. Good. Coming up. Good. Now, we're going to roll all the way down to the floor. So make sure you have enough room behind you on your mat. You start with that same half roll, engaging those low abdominals again. Have your hands ready. They can help you on your legs. And then you're just going to come to roll down all the way out onto the mat. Okay? We're going to find, I'll center myself here for you guys. We're going to find our constructive rest position. That's what this is called. So what that means is that your knees and feet are hip width apart, okay? Not the outside of your hips, but really think about your hip bones, okay? You are going to find your neutral position. I'll come back to that in a second. Your rib cage is relaxing. And remember, we're always breathing into the ribs. Shoulders are dropped, right? We talked about that at the beginning. And the back of your head is resting on the mat. So make sure your chin is not tilted up towards the ceiling, but you really feel kind of that flat part of your head is resting on the mat. Now, normally your hands are just down relaxing by your side. But what I want you to do for now is I want you to place them on your hip bones, and we're going to find neutral position. Okay, this is an important one in Pilates. We're trying to maintain the natural curve of our low back. So I don't want you to feel like you're pushing your back down in the exercises. I want you to keep neutral the whole time. That will work your low abdominals, okay? So what the heck is neutral? Let's find it. So you're going to do the two opposite things that I don't want you to do so that you can find the neutral, okay? So here, you're going to tuck your hips. So think of pushing your low back down to the floor. That's a tuck. And then the opposite is an arch so that you leave this big, huge space between your low back and the floor. Okay, so you're tucking. Let's make that your inhale. Exhale, you arch. Inhale, you tuck, push that low back down. Exhale to arch. One more time. Each of those two extremes. Now, you find the middle, okay? So you should feel like you are on the flat part right at the base of your spine. Okay, not your tailbone, but really the sacrum, okay? For me, what always helps is that I'm imagining my hip bones are pointed directly up to the ceiling. And the other thing is that I can slide a piece of paper between my low back and the floor, okay? There's not much space, right? You don't need much to get a piece of paper there, but just that sense of no force of my low back down, really I can slide that piece of paper and I can maintain control of my low abdominals. All right, so hands down. Okay, now from this position, we're gonna maintain our neutral and we're gonna test ourselves to make sure we can move our legs, okay? So from here, we inhale to pick the right foot up off the floor. Exhale, you straighten the leg. Now keep your legs straight. You're gonna lower the leg towards the floor. You don't have to go to the floor. Back up, still straight leg. Now we bend and then place your foot down. Let's coordinate with the breath. Inhale, exhale, straight leg. Inhale, straight leg lowers. Exhale, straight leg comes up. Inhale, we bend the knee. Exhale, we lower the foot. Now, what's happened to your neutral? Double check. Did you push your low back to the floor? Maybe there's this big arch. Readjust, okay? Keeping that little piece of paper that you can slide between your back and the floor. This time we're going to do one more each side and you're going to feel like your low abdominals are working a little bit to hold that neutral. So even though your legs are moving, your neutral position here, your hips are not shifting. Okay, let's try again. Inhale, no shift in my hips. Exhale, stretch the leg. Hold on to neutral position as that leg lowers. And as the leg lifts, you inhale to bend your knee. And exhale, foot down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Lower that straight leg. Hold on to neutral. It's not changing the entire time we're moving this leg. Good. Okay. So that was testing our lower body moving while we keep neutral. Now we're going to test our upper body moving. Okay. So I'm going to show you sort of the classic Pilates move, which is incorporated in many of our exercises. This one's called the upper curve. You, again, maintain neutral. Okay, I'm going to say this constantly because it's really important in order to properly engage those low abdominals. Now, for the upper curve, you inhale to lift your hands about 2 inches off the floor. Keep them there. On your exhale, you're going to lift your head and your shoulders up so that you're looking at your knees, okay? Inhale, you lower the shoulders and the head. Hands are lifted. Exhale, you're coming back up again. So inhale is your lower. Exhale is your lift. All right, so what's happening now is you might want to push your low back down. Don't let that happen. Keep those low abdominals engaged so that your neutral position does not change. You might want to go really high up in this upper curve, but you don't need to do that, and you probably don't want to, because if you go really high up, my low back pushed into the floor the minute I went too high. So I lower just to probably about my shoulder blades touching the mat, and that allows me to keep neutral. So you find the position that you're high enough in that upper curve that you feel some abdominals working, but that you can maintain neutral. Again, inhale to lower, exhale to lift. then go one more time. We're gonna hold it here now. Stay in this position. We're gonna pump the arms up and down. So this is a modified version of the 100, okay? You inhale to pump the arms 5 times. Exhale, still pumping 5 times. And basically we pump the arms for 100 counts. That's why it's called the 100. I'm putting you in this position right now because I'm testing you. Can you feel those low abdominals working to hold neutral? Can you also breathe into your rib cage right now? It's hard, right? You're in that upper curve, so things feel a bit squished. So this is your practice to really inhale into those ribs and a full exhale out. Let's just do one more breath here. Exhale. Good. We're going to stop the pumping, lowering down, and the hands come on the floor. Now, you've had the head lifted. You could feel possibly some tension in the front of the neck, a bit in the side, okay? So to get that a little bit more relaxed, you're just going to turn your head side to side here. And one more turning so you get that stretch. Good, and then coming back center again to your constructive rest position. Okay, so from our constructive rest position, we're gonna go into the shoulder bridge, okay? This exercise is more of a connection to the hamstrings and the glutes, all right? In order to start, you're going to inhale to tuck your hips, push your low back down to the mat. Exhale, now you keep that tuck and you lift the hips up off the mat, okay? Inhaling, I'm lowering, I still have this tuck, so my vertebrae are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to neutral. Exhale, tuck and lift, right? So it's our inhale to lower and our exhale to tuck. Now, how high am I going with my hips? What I want you to do is be able to maintain your tuck and feel this in your hamstrings and your glutes. If you go too high, you're going to lose the tuck and create a little bit of arch in your back, and then you're going to be working your back more than you're working the legs and the glutes, okay? So keep your tuck, and that's what's going to allow you to get that good position to really engage those hamstrings and the glutes. Exhale, I'm lifting. Inhale, I'm lowering. We're going to add a little bit to this. So you come up into your shoulder bridge. You stay here, okay? Your rib cage is dropping down to the mat, but your hips are lifted, right? You're in that tuck. We're going to move the toes. So we inhale, lifting those toes off the floor. Exhale, put your toes down, lift your heels off the floor, okay? This is the footwork. Inhale, toes. Exhale, heels. Now, there should be some work happening in our shins and our calves. A lot of people will feel this more in the hamstrings as well when you're doing the footwork. Keep your shoulder bridge at the same height. I'm not going up and down, right? It's only a movement at my ankles to lift and lower those toes. So you're going to finish here with your heels being the last thing that lifts. Then you lower to flat feet, and you're going to roll that spine all the way back down to neutral. And relax. Let's stretch the legs out. Reach your hands overhead. And you're going to lengthen arms, legs, and relax. Shake those legs out. Let's go one more time. And relax here. Okay, let's turn onto our side. And I'm going to teach you the side leg lifts so that you can learn how to line yourself up nice and straight. All right, so for our side leg lifts, okay, there's a whole series that we can do just on our side, but I'm just going to show you one for now. You can use the back of your mat because it should be straight, okay? You can use that to line yourself up so that your hips and your shoulders are straight lined up on the back edge of your mat, all right? When you're in this position, you want to have one hip right on top of the other. So you're not going to be rolling forwards and backwards. You're really going to keep your hips nice and square. Now, I'm looking down and I can see my toes, okay? It's not my whole foot that's coming forward, so my legs are still in line, but I need to be able to see my toes because otherwise it's gonna create an arch in your low back and I don't want that, okay? I just want that natural low back curve. I am resting my head down on my arm because I don't want any tension in my neck. Now, you can always bend your elbow if this is more comfortable. Sometimes even if you place like a towel or something in between your arm and your head, then that'll work as well. So find the position that your neck feels like it's relaxing. Look straight in front of you. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift both legs up. You can put your hand on the floor as a support, but I don't want you pushing so much into your hand that your shoulders are coming all the way up to your ears. No, I want those shoulders to stay relaxed, and the work comes from these oblique muscles and from our low abdominals in order to keep our hips one on top of the other. Okay, that was a lot of talking. Let's move. Inhale, lift both those legs. Exhale, they lower back down. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Take a quick glance. Make sure you can still see your toes because a lot of people lower their legs farther behind them. So you want to make sure that your legs are just that little bit forward. Inhale and exhale. Feel the ribs breathing. Feel the shoulder relaxing. One more. And lowering down. Good. Now we're going to come up to sitting. Swing our legs over. Okay, and we're going to do the other side. So same thing to get started. You're lining yourself up with the back edge of your mat so your hips and your shoulders are nice and straight. I can look down at my toes, okay? One hip over the other. So I'm using my low abdominals to keep those hips in line. Fingertips on the floor, no shoulders. Here we go. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Remember, relax your head and your neck, looking forward. You might notice one side is a little bit harder than the other. This is true for all of us, okay? As you keep doing Pilates, you will find that things become a little bit more equal because you're going to build up those muscles equally by doing these exercises on both sides. Okay, but it's totally normal if you feel like you had your balance perfect on the other side and now this side feels more wobbly. Good, give me one more. Good. Now we're going to come up to sitting. I'm just going to do the mermaid stretch with you. So for the mermaid, you can sit with your legs crossed if this is comfortable. You can sit with your legs out in front of you. I'm going to actually put my knees to the side. All right, I'm going to hold on to my shins, and this opposite arm is going to come up and to the side. I'm holding it here to stretch out those obliques that we just worked in those side leg lifts. And then coming out, swinging my legs across, okay, holding onto the shins and opposite arm up and over. Now you're holding it here. If your legs are crossed, you can just have your hand on your knee to come to the side. If your legs are out, you can always just put your hand on the floor and just lean to the side. No matter which position of your legs, make sure that you're not leaning or twisting forward. This really is side bend. Good. And breathing and shoulders down, right? All those things. Good. All right, so what I want you to do next is we're going to come down to the mat again, and we're actually going to be on our abdominals. So how do we get there? We're going to do a nice little transition, okay? It's that same roll down that we did at the start of this video. So we're engaging again those low abdominals, right? We're tucking the hips. You really squeeze those low abs to round yourself back to the mat, okay? So make sure you have enough room behind you. Okay, here we start. Inhale, squeeze those glutes, tuck your hips. Exhale, you're halfway there. You gotta hold on here to lower all the way down to the floor. Good. So you can stretch your legs out. I'm gonna get you to roll over onto your abdominals. So the exercise I'm going to show you now is the swan. All right, this is another one of the core or the key exercises in Pilates. It's actually a stretch for your abdominals. But the focus in this exercise is to strengthen the muscles in the mid-back, all right? We're often slouching either at our desk or just in general. So you really want to, this exercise is really focused on getting a little bit more strength into these mid-back muscles. I don't want you feeling your low back in this exercise, okay? So the swan is actually going to arch up, okay? But not such a big arch that it's in your low back. I want it to be only held, that arch is going to be held by your mid back. Okay, let's go. Hands are on the floor, your elbows are bent, and your hands are underneath your shoulders. So what that means is that your elbows are lifted off the mat. You're going to keep them in towards your body. So don't let them fly out to the sides, okay? Keep them nice and close. Legs are straight out, nice and relaxed. Your head is going to lift up off the floor. Your shoulder blades are dropping down your back, and you push into your hands to extend into this nice little arch. It's small, okay? It doesn't have to be the big arch back. Because again, I want you to keep those mid-back muscles working. Okay, so with the breath, we inhale, lifting head. Exhale, push into the hands to come up into your swan. Inhale, we're coming halfway down. Exhale to the floor. Now, how far up you go depends on if you can keep your shoulders down. I don't want shoulders up to the ears. I only want to feel that connection to the mid-back, to hold the shoulders down. That's as far as I need to go. When I'm teaching Pilates, it's really not about how big you make the movements, it's about the connections. So as long as you have those muscles connecting and you're maintaining your good posture, that's what I want to see. Inhale and exhale. My shoulders are down, yours are as well. And lowering here. Good job. Let's just sit back onto our heels. Okay, you do a little cat stretch or child's pose where you're rounding out the back, okay, and really breathe into the back of the lungs here. Get a nice big stretch. Okay, so from here, we're going to come up to a standing position, all right? So in order to do that, you're going to come to hands and knees, curl your toes under, and then you're shifting your hands back so that you can lift your knees up off the mat and then push yourself back to flat feet, okay? Stretching the legs up and just hanging here for a nice hamstring stretch. Now, if you couldn't do that position, that transition because of your knees or any other issues, just come up off the mat, however it's safest for you, and come here to just hang and stretch out your hamstrings. Okay, so from here, we are going to roll ourselves up to a standing position. Again, you stack one vertebrae on top of the other. Shoulders are dropping down before your head comes up. All right, and we're standing right back to where we started at the beginning. See how that worked? Yeah. Okay, so you're gonna have that weight under your big toe joint, little toe joint, and your heel. Okay? Feeling that those abdominals are holding onto your center, your shoulders are relaxed, nice and tall. Let's stretch the neck, okay? So what I want you to do is tilt your left ear to left shoulder and then dropping the chin down towards the chest and right ear, right shoulder. And again, drop the chin down and to the shoulder, chin down, and to the shoulder, and then let's just go centering and come back up, looking straight ahead. Good. Now, before we go, we're going to do a little balance test, okay? So I'm going to stand to the side. You guys can face me. And what we're going to do is we're going to support with our low abdominals. Pick a spot in front of you that's not going to move because it helps you to focus, okay? Helps you to balance a little bit better. So first thing we're going to do is inhale to bend the knees. Exhale now, keep your knees bent, and you're going to lift your heels up off the mat, okay? Inhale, you're coming up on your tippy toes, straightening your legs basically. Exhale, you're lowering those heels down. Right here, we'll go again. Inhale to bend, and cracking toes or ankles, that's okay. Exhale, you're gonna lift those heels up. Inhale, stretching those legs. And exhale, lower. Now, can we do this in the reverse direction? Let's try it. Inhale, up, straight legs. Exhale now, I'm gonna bend my knees, okay? Keep my knees bent, and I'm gonna try to put my heels on the floor. Don't stick your butt out. I don't want this to put your heels down. Okay, straight legs. So I'll show you that just quickly here. So you're in this position. I want the heels to come down, but everything here stays exactly the same shape. I don't want to see that you're bending the knees and then you stick the butt out in order to put the heels down. Don't do that, okay? Sorry, shake out my legs. Okay, we'll go last time here in this reverse direction. So you're coming up on your toes. Inhale, that was your inhale. Exhale, you're going to bend the knees. Keeping this shape, no butts are sticking out. You're going to place those heels down and stretching the legs out. Good. When you're doing that, just so that you know, I can't actually keep that nice shape of my knees and place my heels down, because that's, again, a limitation here in my Achilles tendon. So if that happened to you, it's okay, don't worry about it. You're just in that stretch position to try to stretch. All right, so from here, we're standing. You made it. Let's inhale here. Bring the arms up. Exhale, open. Good, and one more. And exhale, open. Good, thank you guys for joining me. Give yourself a pat on the back. That was fantastic, and I hope to see you guys again.